All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday's show. Here at the Associated Guests, I am always am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. Today, a plane explodes over Kentucky, I believe, at takeoff. It was a lone plane. We'll get into it later. But, of course, everyone blames Trump. Gavin Newsom keeps getting caught. What will he get caught at? We'll find out later. The BBC caught lying about Trump, editing a video, I believe it's of January 6th. Why this is just now coming out, who the hell knows? But we'll get into that. And then if we have enough time, we'll check out Fleekazoid's video on Bloodlines 2. I love that guy. He's hilarious. But first, let's check in with Hassan Piker and see what he's bitching about.
You're getting to be here. Many of you probably also door knock, you canvas, and this is the fruits of your labor. It's me, the dipshit, the asshole drinking alcoholic beverages. Oh my God. All the fucking haters don't like it suck my dick too. Oh my God. All the fucking slop tubers.
That's always what he says. If he doesn't like someone, like if he doesn't like that black people are complaining that he doesn't call out all their things, suck my dick. For the trans person who didn't like what he said about trans people, suck my dick. Hassan's whole life circles around his penis. Of course, when the only women who surround you are porn stars or pseudo porn stars, I mean, it sounds like it'd be awesome, but as someone who's been in a similar situation for a little bit, it's annoying. But anyway, let's continue. Yeah, I was in my 20s once. All right, let's see.
In Kentucky.
What happened? Yeah,
Reports
Kentucky.
of the massive explosion and resulting fire, possibly the result of a crash involving a cargo plane with UPS Airlines near Muhammad Ali International Airport. Holy shit, look at that. Video of the crash. What the hell?
Bro, here, like, turn around.
What the fuck?
Bro, no, hold on. I think
Yeah, again, not a crash.
Holy.
So you see bits of the plane going everywhere. There were 3 crew members on board. It's very tragic. It was a UPS cargo plane. And I hate to say thankfully on anything like this, but thankfully it was a cargo plane, so there were 3 passengers on board. Any amount of death is tragic, but when it comes to, you know, spocking it up as far as life goes, better a cargo plane with 3 people than a passenger plane with hundreds of people. It's very tragic. My heart goes out to the families. But yeah, this is clearly something went wrong on takeoff. Whether it was a fuel leak sparked with maybe some sparks flying from anywhere on the plane, who knows? But very clearly, these people, let me see. Why isn't... Okay, there it goes. But yeah, as you can see, people like Morgan J. Freeman, retard breaking aerial footage shows the UPS cargo plane crash near Louisville, Kentucky. Police confirm victims. There are victims and the blood is on Trump's hands. How? How is this a thing? People's, and that's another thing. I love how white women are celebrating a dead-eyed white woman taking a job from a black woman. I'm pretty sure she was incumbent, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, please forgive me on that one. But ridiculous. Love shit like this. Sorry, extinction level tweets are coming early because I got sidetracked. Smashing capitalism with a $12 Starbucks, $200 Ray-Bans, and $2,000 MacBook. Of course, smash all the person with cancer. I hate cancer. This is not the same thing. This is not even close to the same thing. Like, if you hate capitalism, then don't participate. There are ways. Your life's going to suck because everything that you like to do is a product of capitalism. That's just a fact. And you look all around the world, socialism sounds like a wonderful thing when you're in your 20s. If sometimes even in your 30s. And yes, if we ever get to the magical hit a button, say I want a strawberry sundae, and it just appears in front of you like on Star Trek, yes, maybe we can talk about a socialist society then. Or if automation ever becomes fully in effect to where we really only need a few people making repairs here and there. Or we even have something to do repairs for us. Who knows? Or programming, but we can even have someone do programming for us. But yeah, saying smash capitalism when you have literally not only that, but MacBooks, I'm pretty sure everything made by Apple is made in China, which has at the worst slave labor, at best indentured servitude. Oh, this is another thing that was in the news yesterday. People are screaming about Michael Caine being married to someone 15 years younger than him because he was 40 and she was 25 when they met. That's what I think they called him a pedo. Yeah, pedo. It's not pedophilia. It is a little weird. Depending on who it is, people can find it sweet. Like what's the movie? The Notebook. He was hanging from a Ferris wheel. If he didn't look like Ryan Gosling, he would be in prison. I'm not going to get into Dick Cheney. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. I might get into the Jim Norton thing later. Oh, here's another thing that pissed me off real quick. Sorry. Just real quick. People are saying that she's applying tears. Like it's very clearly she's wiping tears. She's not applying them unless it's a wet nap. But this is very clearly a tear rag. You know, like a little handkerchief, something that people used to carry around with them at all times. And see, it's the same little rag. She's crying, and people are saying, "Why isn't there?" It goes. Erica Kirk caught using tear solution, creating fake tears before going on TPUSA's stage. Look, the leather pants, I agree, is a little weird, but people wear leather pants. Who gives a fuck? It's a little extra weird considering their religion, but and then John Cleese, he had to have been hacked, or this is some kind of fake account. But anyway, let's continue with the plane crash. Sorry, I went on a tangent.
I never seen. Oh my God, it looks fake. I mean, I don't know if it's fake, bro. I'm pretty sure it's not. I mean, like usually the fake ones only last for like 8 seconds because usually that's how long you have, and it lines up with all of the other images. I'm pretty sure it's not fake. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, this is awful. And so this is apparently a residential area,
proving that there's retards in everyone's houses.
And I guess that must have been the runway that he went into, right? And wow, that is insane. Well, I mean, I don't really know what else to say other than it's just really sad.
Horrible. Like it
looks like it was basically the plane was already on fire to begin with. The engine completely fucked up. Yeah, exactly.
It looks like a Michael Bay shit. Like it's crazy. But all right, so that's tragic. My heart goes out to everyone affected. Apparently, the debris from the plane scattered throughout Louisville. I believe it was Louisville, Kentucky. But hopefully, there aren't any more casualties. Excuse me.
Nobody could be this dumb in real life.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you.
Why does Newsom always look like he just got done sobbing into his pillow because he realized that his aunt Nancy Pelosi can't buy him the presidency?
And I love how you see it, especially with leftists, but you see it on the right too, because they're both just literally two wings of the same bird. One's just more of the retard hand at the time. Whether that's the good or the bad one or the least bad one at the time, I'll leave that up to you. But no, Gavin Newsom is one of the most disingenuous. He is one of the few. I don't even know if he's a nepo baby. I'm pretty sure his dad was in politics, maybe. But I'd have to look that up. Hold on. But no, he always fails up. The same with Nancy Pelosi. They're both from San Francisco. San Francisco's a shithole. From all reports I know from people who live in California, San Francisco's a shithole. From people I know who visit San Francisco, it's not a great place to be. It's not like Full House growing up. Whatever happened to the predictability?
For Christmas. Why does he always look like he's been
Everywhere
sobbing?
you
They're literally
look,
the
there's a
party
dude
of tears.
jacking off on the
Give me a
sidewalk.
break.
Projection.
Did you legitimately believe that he was capable of serving as president?
They just jump cut to, did you believe Biden could run for president and be president for another 4 years, despite the fact that he was always taking naps, was just mind-blanking during the debate stage, and
I mean, people
basically
take
a
naps.
zombie for the other 4 years of his presidency? So he just said, nothing makes me roll my eyes than a politician that lies to you, and here he is about to lie to us.
Until January of 2029?
Yeah, I think my focus was frankly situational. It was making sure Donald Trump didn't get back into office to experience everything that we're experiencing today. And there was no interaction I had that suggested otherwise.
What do you say to Americans who feel misled by you and other top
I'm misled in all
Democrats?
It's bad when even NBC is calling out the Democrats to their face. They've lost it.
About the mental acuity of President Biden, that they wish you'd sounded the alarm sooner to give way for
I never
an
experienced.
open
Look,
convention?
I'm not going to substitute myself for someone else or for popular opinion. I'm going to express my relationship to my truth with
My truth means
My truth. Anyone who says my truth, you know they're lying off the top. You know they're lying. There is no your truth. There's no my truth. There's only the truth and our versions of what happened if we are in a situation together. And the truth is usually somewhere in between. There is no my truth. My truth is something that someone says when they're clearly lying. Juicy Smouye had a truth.
I'm lying. That's it.
the former president of the United States, including at the end of his term, quite literally, in December.
Decoy voices
which was
based.
a masterclass of foreign policy.
He dropped out. He dropped out of the race because he had just blanked out during a debate on national television. Democrats kept on hiding him, saying he's fine. He obviously wasn't. He's saying, my truth is he could, and he's making all these good foreign deals. Lying to our face.
He cares more about his hair than he cares about anyone under his governance.
Domestic policy, which
Sorry, I
I will
need
never
another cup of
forget,
coffee.
as we walk through not just the election, but we're walking through the world we're living in. There was nothing to suggest what you just said, or
There was no. We all
There
saw
was-
during
there
the
was-
debate.
there was
Nothing-
plenty
he's
to
just lying us
suggest.
right now. It's insane.
or others have suggested in terms of my interaction. That's
Okay.
all I can be.
Your
My
interaction,
my
maybe, but
truth,
you have
absolutely
eyes and you watch
ridiculous.
the
My truth
news.
says BS excuse doesn't align with reality. He also has cancer. Yeah, exactly. Like, let the old man recover from cancer, get state of the art treatment, and just enjoy retirement. No, they want to march him out there because it's good for the party. They got to beat Trump. Never mind the fact that you're literally going to shed years off that old man's life. And I'm a person that despises Biden. Biden told me he wishes me and my family a winter, a severe illness and death. He wished that upon me. I wish him a speedy recovery from cancer. It's not that hard to be a decent human being.
Yeah, you can be a decent human being. You can show. I don't like to use the word enemies because I don't believe I have enemies, but I do have people who hate me. But I don't wish my quote unquote enemies the worst. I wish them the best. I want people to be okay in the long run. I wish people would stop hating on people. Like Decoy Voice gets a lot of hate. I get a lot of hate, but mostly in real life. Being based has that effect on people.
But the idea that he would rather drag him
I'm
across
just
the
playing.
finish line to be a politician until he loses his life so they can install their Kamala Harris presidency shows that they're scumbags. And yet, this is him moments ago.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
And
He
it's
hates
funny
himself.
because everybody's piling on this, saying, Gavin Newsom dislikes when politicians lie, and then they rolled this little clip right here.
In reservoirs, the reservoirs are completely full.
Yeah, the LA Times, state to probe why the Pacific Palisades Reservoir was offline empty when Firestorm exploded.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
I don't know what he's referring to when he talks about the Delta smelt in reservoirs. The reservoirs are completely full.
Yeah, because we had clips of you saying it just a second ago. And then this one over here is even better from Maze Moore.
Not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
We agree.
but where did that even?
No more Latin.
Saying, I've never used the word Latinx, Latinx. He's saying that when he's talking to Charlie Kirk, who he in fact later on lied about afterwards, after Charlie Kirk was the only conservative to sit down and have an honest discussion with Governor Gavin Newsom.
Because he wasn't a
Charlie
coward,
Kirk,
because he actually
said,
wanted to
"Man,
reach
my
across
son's
the
a
aisle.
huge fan. He wanted to ditch."
Look, he said things I disagree with because he's a staunch Christian, and they have a very particular viewpoint on things. But I respected the hell out of him because he always wanted to talk to people who disagreed with him, whether that was Gavin Newsom or college students.
School so we can come meet you. And then later on, Gavin Newsom, after Charlie Kirk died because they called him a fascist, Newsom said, "Oh no, my son doesn't watch. He just knew about him. He wasn't a fan. He wasn't that into him. He just wanted to ditch school and meet him early in the morning. But he wasn't a fan because Governor Gavin Newsom keeps on calling Charlie Kirk a fascist, which got him ended from somebody from Newsom's party, and he's worried of being affiliated with him because
I wonder if his son hates him.
that has scary implications for himself too. But here he is,
Because rhetoric like
lying
him
to
and his
Charlie
party
Kirk's
espouse
face.
pretty much got Charlie Kirk.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. And like, what are people talking about? Impactful this has been on the Latinx community. Latinx community. Politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx.
Nothing
I've never used that word.
I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
I've
Not
never
one
seen
person
Latinx. He has a literal montage of him saying that. Yeah, he's debating himself. I love Maze Moore and his account. Go follow him on Twitter. Maze Moore has openly said he has a bunch of more damning clips on Gavin Newsom, but he's going to save them closer to the presidential election when he's trying to run for the Democrat primary. And I'm certain he has content that will sink his presidential ambitions. And it's
Maze
gonna be
Moore, you
glorious
have a new
because
follower on X.
This is him. Like Gavin Newsom is such a scumbag, but also he just doesn't have the chops to be a president beyond some place that has insane amounts of ballot harvesting.
You have been one of the most outspoken Democratic voices against President Trump, and part of your
The word is
tactic
retard.
is to imitate some of what we see on.
Yeah, that's all he does. He writes all his tweets in all caps. He tries to curse now. He's even seemingly getting a spray tan. Like, he doesn't understand what makes Trump charismatic. He's getting it all wrong and essentially ending his own career for it.
Line from President Trump.
That's
So
because he's a
you
very
make
shallow
these
person.
All cap posts. You send out similar memes. Do you run the risk of normalizing?
Yeah, because
that behavior?
when yes, he does.
Trump started doing AI pictures, Newsom started doing AI pictures too, and it honestly got him in trouble because Trump made AI pictures, his base ate it up, they thought it was funny. Then Newsom makes an AI picture of Trump in a dress, I believe. What was it, JD Vance? He put one of them in a dress. And then all of a sudden, he's making fun of Trump in a dress. But then all of a sudden, the trans community comes out and says, why is a man dressing up as a woman funny to you? And it's like, he doesn't understand how it's going to make him fall flat on his face every time.
Quite the contrary. The whole expression was to not allow it to be normalized.
I'm not allowing it to be normalized by normally doing it in my day-to-day activities.
And look, this is a great example. I've been scrolling through. So let me see what he's responding to. Okay, he's not responding to anything. He probably just saw something. And instead of responding directly to it, he just said something. So if Republicans win, it's fair. But if Democrats win, it's rigged. Got it. And then retard find. Literally 3 hours ago, Trump doing everything he can to steal the New Jersey governor's race, including ordering bomb threats to be called in at polling stations, which, by the way, those were at polling stations in conservative districts, not liberal districts. If you fact, that might have been the ones because there were ones in New York too. But everything I've seen, it's been in conservative neighborhoods. Called in at polling sites and having Musk fuck with electronic voting machines. Once a cheater, always a cheater. This is what they do. Are there conservatives who do this? Absolutely. But it's literally almost every single liberal every time there's an election. They're cheating. They're going to cheat. They're cheating. They're going to cheat. They're cheating. They're going to cheat. Oh, hell yeah. Most honest and open election there's ever been. Even though especially in New York, you do not have to present ID. You don't even go behind a closed curtain anymore. You literally just go in there and vote. From everything that I've seen, there are people online bragging that they voted 7 times. You can make this shit up, but it's ridiculous. This is why, and the fact that Democrats will tell you that voter ID is racist because and then you'll hear them openly saying that they don't think black people are smart enough to go get a driver's license. And then you've had people, man on the street guys, go and ask black people randomly, like random black people on the street of New York and these big cities, do you know where to go get a driver's license? Of course, I have one right here. It's down the street. It's on the corner of this and this.
Was becoming normalized. All this, the normalization of deviancy across the spectrum of issues, but his communication, he's dressing up as the Pope, as Superman. Hold on, he's putting his face on Mount Rushmore. He's saying, thank you. It's madness.
Oh, no, he's making memes.
Yeah, it's trolling. It's memes.
Ridiculous.
And so I put a mirror up to that madness.
You've been one of the most outspoken.
This always looks like he's been crying.
Yes, when I do it, it's a mirror. Hey, homie, I checked your video. Man, I really appreciate it, but I'd rather just get them naturally. I appreciate the engagement and all that, but no, I'm not going to do that. I appreciate you though, man.
It is sad that's where he's at. But what is it? Ian Yeager says one image defines Gavin Newsom's entire political career. Yeah, I remember seeing this. I screen grabbed it too. It's him walking through, I believe, LA saying like, this is what we're gonna do to clean it up. And you got this black homeless guy reaching out to Newsom as he walks by with his coffee in his suit, just ignoring him. It's like, yep.
Yeah, the shiniest suit you'll ever see. And he's walking by a homeless dude. I mean, come on, man. At least have one of your people throw him something. It would be even worse if, like, this guy was tackling the homeless guy or something.
This is Newsom's legacy in a nutshell. Because all they're really trying to do right now is rig the elections in Congress by redistricting everything. So now Nancy Pelosi, who's I believe his aunt-in-law, is out there trying to essentially campaign for him as president. He's gonna run. He has a vision for the country. If his vision for the country
he's a
is
Nepo
anything
baby.
like his vision for California, there's no way this man can become president.
To Jennifer, it's clear that this governor has a vision for our country. He has knowledge of our country and our...
Did he have a vision for California? Because it's fucked. I'm sorry. San Francisco was fucked. California's fucked. This redistricting, I mean, say what you want about Texas's redistricting. The amount of districts that they have accurately represents the voter base. Percentage-wise. The percentage of people who vote Democrat are still represented by the percentage of districts that are Democrat. Might not directly represent the districts that they're in because of weird drawings, but I mean, look at Minnesota, look at Detroit, look at Illinois, for God's sake, like northern Illinois around Chicago. That redistricting is crazy. Look at California currently, and they want to redo it to where Republicans will never win. They are already a supermajority Democrat. Arnold Schwarzenegger only won as a Republican because, one, he's not really a Republican, and two, he's a celebrity. That's the only reason he won. This is a state that used to call Jerry Brown a Nazi and then reelected him like 20 years later. Give me a fucking break.
Our state, the state of California, the fourth largest economy in the world.
I like how what was it Joe Rogan talked about. He says, "Oh, I have the fourth largest economy in the world. I have the best tech sector in the country. I have all these jobs and everything." It's like, yeah, it's all the things that were there before he got here.
Yes. Everything that he has to claim to California's greatness was already there when he got there. For like a generation, or like for generations, it's been there. And two, it's moving out. A lot of these companies are moving the fuck out of California, the same way that all the money markets are going to move out of New York City now that Zoran Mondani was elected.
All the things you get by default by being next to the ocean and having Hollywood here. But I believe it's the tech sector jobs is now at the same level of like the 90s. Like, he's totally decimated Silicon Valley. He's decimated people from filming in Hollywood. He's gotten rid of everything, and yet he tries to campaign on his successes, which is just the things he got by default.
Gavin manages that way, with great dignity. He has strategic thinking about how to get
Hey,
things
thank
done,
you for the follow,
and that
man.
is what has
I appreciate
brought us
it.
together here. When this opportunity occurred, Gavin had a plan. He's a man with a plan.
And yet they can't illustrate that plan to us other than the idea that they're going to redistrict California.
Yeah, because it doesn't
to
exist.
smithereens, but like this is her trying to promote this.
Yeah, like that's
Actually, this
it's
video is
already
way too long,
solid
but no.
blue.
Dane, when Texas did what Texas did, people said, "Oh no, we can't do that. Two no's don't make a right."
And California is roughly 30% Republican. Most of it's not on the coast or on the border of Nevada, but 30% of California is Republican. And they have maybe one representative that will no longer be there because they just passed Prop 50.
It's not two no's.
Get
It's
stuffed.
self-defense for our democracy, saying we know what we're doing is wrong, but we're going to redistrict.
Like, look at this. Holding all 52 seats when 30% of your population, and it's a spread out population. The Republicans in California, a lot of them are secret voters who publicly are Democrat, but most of them are in all these areas here that are in the mountains, in the country, not in the big cities, basically. And now those 30% of people aren't going to have any representation. And they're going to end up moving, and they're going to seem like leftists compared to where they're moving to, probably.
California. So you have, look at these.
I will say the people moving out of New York and California vote differently wherever you go, especially if you've been for this stuff and then you see the results and you get to a new place. Vote differently, please. For the sake of the people there.
Districts to put all the rural parts of California,
Yeah.
combine them with deep blue coastal elite
Like, look at
cities
this. Look
to
at this
make
one
it
right
just-
here. Look at this.
To make it just
Like, this is literally all of this right here, just so this little section of San Francisco and its suburbs can vote. This right here, I'm sure this is a deep blue area. This right here, which I'm pretty sure extends here. Like, look at this shit. This is insane. And they talk about Texas. Oh my God.
all Democrat because they need 5 more Republican
Like,
seats.
look at this. All of this goes straight to
fight the
here,
Republicans
to where you can district
in
it with some of
Congress.
San Francisco.
But
All
you
of
see
this
over here where
it's the same
there's
thing
parts of
over and
the
over
country
again.
that are already gerrymandered to the max. Like you see this over here. What is this? New England. They own 11 out of the 12 U.S. House seats in Jersey, but all of the House seats in New England. Where it's like you look at New England, they have all the congressional seats, but then if you look at the election, Maine 45% voted for Trump.
Yeah.
New Hampshire 47% Trump. Vermont 32. New York, or not New York, that's not it. Massachusetts 36%. So you have millions upon millions.
And again, I'm not worried about the overarching, but break that down. Like, hold on. Fuck me. 2024 election results. We'll go to CNN like he did. Get started. Okay. Like he's doing. We'll look, we'll play his
People that voted for Trump in those areas, and yet they get zero representation in Congress. And they're saying, we're saving democracy. You know, they should.
Okay, so I'll give it to Maine. Maine has good districting. These are mostly square. There's a couple of questionable ones here, but that one's red. So that one's clearly bad. So they gave one to the Republicans. It's a very large area, and they mostly care about these condensed coastal areas. Let's go over here. Starts to get a little bit more wonky. Not sure what this is about. These are mostly square, so I'll give Vermont that much. But then again, just because it's square doesn't necessarily mean it's fair, but for the most part, it more than likely is. Even New York, mostly fair. New Jersey, it starts to get a bit shapely. But again, and Trump isn't probably a fair one to do because a lot of people who were Democrats, and you'll hear reports saying that people who voted for AOC also voted for Trump, and she was very confused by that. All right, so you see ones like that. So let's back out. Am I embarrassed that I'm not proving my point by doing this? Yes, a little bit. Thank you for asking. Hold on. Okay. But again, going over to California. Like I said, that's the redistricting that he wanted to do that we showed in the last thing. This is how it is now, and it represents all the people who are like, this is all Republican here, this is all Republican here. They're literally saying all of this. Like, let's go back and compare it side by side. Okay. So this is what's proposed by Newsom's Prop 50. And this is what it currently is. You cannot tell me that this is the same as what Texas is doing. Like, look at this. This is literally what they want to do. And then all of this, they're including all this land here, directly connecting it to San Francisco. And then this one, all of this in here goes down to San Francisco. Like, it's absolutely absurd. A couple of these look like they're staying similar, but yeah, they're branching them off. And again, this is Trump versus Kamala Harris. This isn't just Republican breakdown. But anyway, so let's continue.
Massachusetts, 36%. So you have millions upon millions.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Mm-hmm. But it's so much fun. So,
sorry, stuff like this just bothers me, man.
And I don't like the UK. Okay. I really don't like most of Europe. I think that's why we left. But tomato, tomato. And by the way, anyone who says that tomato is a fruit, I understand that technically, but stop ruining parties.
Yes, so it was a pumpkin, but we don't say that.
Yeah, it's enough. No. That's enough.
Don't want them turning into pumpkins.
UK, Donald.
Like, look at Texas. Texas has, especially in these areas where no one lives because it's awful, probably, some of the most square districts. Oh, sorry. I just realized I'm not on screen. Look, places where no one likes because no one lives out here, really. Maybe some in Lubbock. Not a lot. That's about the same size as... Actually, that's bigger than my hometown. But anyway, yeah, just throwing that out there. I'm going to play this and look up a couple more things real quick.
Donald Trump is actually not all that popular according to the British public. So he has an approval of 24%, whereas Obama has 66% approval. Zelensky, 63%. And Hillary Clinton, 36%.
Approval of what? Does he even have a job?
I think it's just a favorable view in general. And then Biden's at 35%. And
Hillary beat Biden?
Yeah.
Again.
Here's the thing, though. I know this because, again, I was raised in Canada. French Canada is much more European. French Canadian, if you're watching right now, French Canadians, you can comment. I didn't realize how foreign of a culture it was until I spent a lot of time in the United States. And a big part of it, a big part of the reason that they hate Donald Trump, and they often have a negative viewpoint of the United States, because let's be honest, these people have a negative viewpoint of Americans. They view American patriotism as negative. It's really kind of three reasons. One, they're jealous. Okay, yeah. They're very jealous. Two, they're a conquered people. And what I mean by that is they're subservient people to their government. They don't understand the idea of armed revolution and ensuring that a government is representative of its people. And three, they've been lied to. A whole lot. And we'll get to this in a second. The BBC has been caught editing footage, not just editing context out with Donald Trump and his January 6th speech, but actually cobbling footage together to make it seem like he said things he didn't say. And often these are the people warning about AI deepfakes. Well, here's the thing. AI deepfakes, it's just a technicality. They're already here if you look at what the BBC does and if you look at what the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, does. But first, let's go to the public who've been lied to, a conquered, subservient people, and see them express their sentiments regarding Donald Trump, which is funny. They spend so much time on our president and we don't really care about them, rightfully so.
today. There are protests.
I mean,
taking
I do,
place,
because
we've seen
England's
live
pretty
pictures
fucked right now.
Only a few moments ago against President Trump's state visit. These are the live pictures from central London from a demonstration organised by activists from the Stop Trump coalition.
The massive orange blimp depicting Donald Trump as a screaming baby lifted off outside British Parliament.
I mean, that's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Those are the screaming babies.
Low energy. Look at all these people. They love me here in the UK.
Pause. That is exactly what I would picture an English Trump impersonator to look like. Like just aged, haggard, and bad teeth.
Yeah. His breath smells like beans.
Yeah, the impression is okay. I just can't get past how he looks like there's a gray sock put over the camera as a lens filter. Let's continue.
People, they love me here.
Skin by meat pies.
Donald Trump, you can't hide!
We charge you with genocide.
Oh, shouldn't do that in the UK, mate.
Well, the protest is about challenging the kind of the official line that that's coming from our government, that Trump is welcome here. There's a lot of anti-Trump sentiment.
Pause. Yeah, there's a lot of anti-Trump sentiment. He insults
he's a president.
people. He came here, he called me a fetus.
He called me a newt.
That's not right, is it? I'm not a fetus, I'm a grown man. I'm not a child. Ever seen a zygote do this? It's proof, isn't it?
I drive an auto. Got a fetus, drive an auto.
Ever seen a fetus with this hairline? Yeah. Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. That's the whole point of this protest. I'm not a fetus. I'm a human being.
You ever seen a fetus with a name Boner?
That's right.
My name's Matt Boner, obviously. I'm a man.
Yeah. Try having that one in primary school, huh? Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit much, isn't it?
I know what I look like. I have a mirror. Let's continue.
Yeah, there's a lot of anti-Trump sentiment.
He is the leader of one of our closest allies.
Yep.
We should be engaging with him, yes?
I think it's very difficult to engage with the tyrant, and I think if you capitulate to all his demands, we're not going to get very far.
I love how, so the No Kings protest, the largest protest in U.S. and even world history, was called No Tyrants in England. Why is that? Because they still hold the monarchy while they don't really hold the day-to-day political power. They still hold the purse. They are the treasury, I'm pretty sure. And they didn't want to disrespect the recently crowned king, formerly Prince, currently King Big Ears Charles. So they called it No Tyrants. Why not just call the whole thing No Tyrants if you're going to change it in other countries that actually have kings? Because you don't stand for anything. Because it's not real. It's all fair weather protest. These people are retarded. I'm sorry. Their mothers clearly abused Tylenol for long terms during the presidency. During the pregnancy. Sorry, it's the giant baby Trump that did it to me.
And we're just appeasing a monster, really.
First off, you don't
He's
have
not a
to
monster.
appease anything. Like, what are you talking about? Just continue.
These are the same people who will defend Maduro and other people who are in charge of socialist dictatorships that are current in the world because they're socialist, and why the fuck not? Like they'll actively defend these people who let their people starve, actually starve, not just cut off. And that's the thing. That people are saying that Trump's letting people starve. Trump didn't cause the government shutdown. The Republicans have put forth bills to pay for certain things during the shutdown and to just straight up end the shutdown. Look, I got no love for Republicans at all. Trump's a little better than the average Republican, but I got no love for Republicans. This is not their fault. I mean, not entirely. Like, could they have done such and such? Sure. But they're trying to save the country in the long run on this one, at the very least, because I've read all the stuff on this one. This one's the Democrats. They have to own this, and they keep blaming Trump. Trump is not the reason your snap got shut off. And yes, and people are throwing it in his face because in the past he said that whoever's running things, it's their fault. And now he's saying it's not his fault because he's in office and he knows better now. I mean, come on.
You being subservient to your government. Also, it's really hard to take news when we're just talking about their media from a man who's threatened by a basic blacklight. That's something that's pretty tough.
Oh my God.
No, it was a monster mash.
I told you my contract, I can't go cosmic bowling.
That stain's never coming out.
That one.
He's a tyrant, isn't he? You know what the American Revolution was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, and by the way, they changed No King's Day, even though they participated to No Tyrant's Day.
Oh,
because, listen, we want to show...
See? And that's what I'm talking about. This is it. No Tyrant's Day. This is No King's Day. They had their own little protest here and in all these places in England. They called it No Tyrants because they have a king.
Rebellion Street, but we don't want to offend our actual king.
Yeah, we have a king, but he's not a tyrant.
That's right. He's not a tyrant.
He's a nice guy.
By the way, you insult the king, we'll put you in jail for something like that. United States, you can say whatever you want. You can just say whatever you want on social media. Hurt feelings.
It's chaos.
Yeah. You have any idea how many replies Bon has telling him that he looks like a fetus? They jail you for speech. They jail you for
They literally do. I hope he brings up
in
the stats because I don't have
for
them.
memes online, and they're talking about the tyranny of Donald Trump.
Bring up the stats.
I don't want
Bring up the
to
stats.
take advice on how to govern a free country from people who value freedom.
Hold on.
0% whatsoever. And here's the thing. They become a conquered people through a
let's go to
drip,
Grok.
drip of media, largely government funded, right? When people talk about corporate media, man, well, what's the alternative? Government media.
You can trust them.
Yeah, exactly. BBC,
Sure.
CBC, Venezuela, Pravda. And by the way, I get it. Media's incredibly biased, right?
Yeah.
ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, ABC, CBS, all of them. But, hey, that's why they bitched about Fox News for so long. There was one alternative. And at least with new media now, we see legacy media dying because they can't stand up to competition. Now, pre-new media, you really only had one voice in the UK. And when I was raised in Canada, you really only had one voice. And they try and act as though they're virtuous by being beholden and subordinate to the government. So when you only have one voice, and that one voice is lying, well, then you get people who have a view of President Trump in the United States that may not necessarily be accurate. So a new whistleblower memo from the BBC, and by the way, all references available, link in the description, as we do every single show. It shows how the network doctored January 6th footage to make Trump.
Wow, that's even more. Okay. As of November 5th, 2025, official comprehensive statistics for the full year are not yet available, as the UK police forces typically release annual custody. However, based on partial data trends from prior years and reports of media and parliamentary suggest approximately 8,000 to 10,000 arrests related to social media posts or online communications in the UK so far in 2025. These arrests primarily fall under laws like Section 127 of the Communications Act of 2003 for grossly offensive or menacing messages. All right. How many of those are not calls to violence? Or other threats?
Say things he never actually said.
This shit's just fascinating to me.
In this clip, I believe it's, Gordon Rayner from The Telegraph breaks it down.
BBC Panorama released a documentary called Trump, A Second Chance. And in it, they played the following clip.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell.
But Trump didn't, in fact, say this at all. The BBC spliced together two clips that took place 54 minutes apart. So let's go through it again.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you.
Now, see there, between Capitol and, that's a cut. Here's what Trump actually said.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
It's different. It wasn't until nearly an hour later that he then said the second part of the BBC's version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Oh, wow.
And we fight. We fight like hell.
And I appreciate Mr. Rayner pointing that out. Go support him. Watch the video. But unless I'm missing it, he himself omitted, and this is by accident, by the way, or maybe he just had to cut for time. He omitted what President Trump said, and I think this is pivotal, 28 seconds after that cut. Doesn't this change things?
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
And he was going to be joining them, to be clear.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is the same soundbite that CNN deliberately cut out, you know, you could refer to it as lying, during their initial coverage of January 6th.
Violence was sparked by the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, who rallied that crowd earlier today.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women, and we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them.
Which isn't a bad thing to say.
Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
And they listened to their leader.
That's not a call to violence. Showing strength has different meanings for different people. He never called for violence. Whereas people on the left have condoned violence. They might not call for it, but they have certainly condoned it. And people are going to say, oh, what about at his rallies back during his first presidency? It was people acting a fool and flinging and flailing and attacking other people. So they said, hey, just kick his ass.
They marched on the Capitol. They stormed it. They broke in.
Well, hold on a second. If they listened to their leader, they would do so peacefully and patriotically, right? Yeah. He was quite literal with that. Gotta be peaceful. And just to give you some context, when I went into the barbershop, Black and White and the Gray Issues, I had to ask the question 3 times. What about January 6th? I said, what if he had said, make your voices heard peacefully and patriotically? Well, that would be interesting. I have never seen that. I said, yeah, but what if, I don't know that that's true. I said, but what if I'm not lying to you? I said, well, then I would have to look into it. Great, look into it. Or don't have an opinion. Otherwise, you end up with an entire country of poor dental health, grayscale humans who think they know about American politics because they've been lied to for decades by government-funded media. This is why polling doesn't determine what is right. Sometimes it is a very useful tool as a snapshot.
Agreed.
Sometimes it's a very useful tool as a snapshot to indicate how effective the media is at lying. And that's,
that's
what
really
I would put forward as the case for January 6th, because many people, I would argue probably most people in this country don't know.
I would argue probably most people.
Just like they don't know, he said,
I don't do good Trump.
I'm not saying neo-Nazis are white supremacists who should be condemned totally.
Which is his actual quote from that day. The good people on both sides hoax. That's literally what he said.
Then people will say, well, why doesn't Donald Trump come out and condemn?
And then he comes out and condemns, and then they keep saying, why doesn't he come out and condemn? And then he condemns again. And they say, why doesn't he come out and condemn? And then he condemns again. And then they say, why doesn't he come out? This happened for years, to the point where it was still being talked about when Biden ran. Like 4 years, like at least 3 years later.
White supremacy. He did. Well, why doesn't Donald Trump, why didn't he call on his people to be peaceful? He instructed them to be peaceful. Very different from Kamala Harris talking about rioters. They're not going to stop, and they shouldn't stop. Not. But if you're lied to over and over and over, well, then you can convince yourself that, it's no tyrant's day because kings are a little bit touchy. And by the way, when an executive at the BBC who, they've had a monopoly on information for a long time in that area of the world, when this is
literally state-run media. They're on the verge of being V for Vendetta, but instead of being the conservative right in charge, it's going to be the very hostile Wimpy left.
Executive heard about the Telegraph article. He was none too happy.
It's Gavin Newsom every time he sees a picture of himself with bad hair.
Harry.
What?
It's an inanimate fucking object.
You're an inanimate fucking object!
Yeah, they lose their composure really quickly. You know what? Let's actually, I just realized we have that clip. We didn't plan on this, the Kamala clip. Let's run side by side. Let me ask you this. What do you think the public perception would have been in this election? How many times was Donald Trump asked about January 6th?
Oh,
how many times was that covered? How many times was Kamala Harris asked about encouraging, in no uncertain terms, rioting? How different do you think the perception would have been in the United States, as well as the UK, if they had heard this clip of Donald Trump, and then we'll roll the Harris clip?
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not. And we should not.
Comment below.
That was more of a call to violence than what he said, and it wasn't either at all.
And that's why I say these conversations, the change my mind, the black and white, and the gray issues, they're not really debates. It's rhetoric. I want to get to the bottom of this and see where this, I know where the country has gone wrong, but I want to lead those who've been wronged down the path. What if this was true? People go, well, okay, if it was true. And then you go, here are the receipts. Put it this way. American taxpayers
most people still won't believe
the defense of Britain. They wouldn't be able to defend themselves.
Most people still won't believe
Canada.
it because
Right,
most people get up in the morning and their whole opinion relies on what did Trump say? I'm going to agree or disagree with it because I love or hate him. This is on both sides. Like, I'm accusing the right of this too, 100%. And the right has people on both sides of it as well. If your whole opinion on anything depends on what Trump's idea of it is, then you're a retard and you're a grifter and you don't believe in anything except for what makes you popular among people you want to be friends with. That's literally it. You have no gumption. You have no meaning. You're just a little amorphous blob who wants to be hugged by pretty people or people who you find interesting but don't find you very interesting, so you just try to be like them and hope that they find you interesting. You're basically the ugly girl with the glasses from Welcome to Derry. You're just a piece of shit who's willing to give up your friends and family just to be accepted by people who don't even like you anyway.
NATO. People haven't met their fair share. That used to be called reneging on a contract. It's kind of illegal, but there's no real international enforcement mechanism if the illegal action is taking place with the international enforcement mechanism. So we pay for the defense of the rest of the free world so that they can have free healthcare, free internet, everything's a human right, insert it here. And then the British taxpayers pay for TV licenses so that the BBC can propagandize them into hating our American leaders who foot the bill for their defense. We're expected to believe that we have a special relationship with the UK. And I would tell you this, UK conservatives, it's not enough to me. I'm sorry. I don't like the idea of English patriotism unless it comes with a very loud thank you to the United States. You don't deserve patriotism because you can't protect your own country. Your country wouldn't exist if not for ours. Okay?
It's not untrue.
We foot the bill so that you can talk down to us, and we don't care. And then you guys get hit with the same kind of tariffs? You slap on us, and you're the victim? Oh, free healthcare. Oh, great. You have a social safety net. Let's change one thing. You guys protect yourself. Take care of your own defense. UK, all of it. Canada, all of it. We'll take care of ourselves. Go. No kings. And you have an actual king, dipshits. And it seems, by the way, the BBC
But we changed it to no tolerance.
Unhappy, knowing that there was a whistleblower in their midst, and dealt with them accordingly.
Ray, don't! Fucking hell! Where the fuck did you come from?
It's a great movie.
What the fuck are you doing, Ray? What the fuck are you doing? Nothing.
Just one of my favorite movies. It's a good thing to come out of that area of the world.
Yeah, just like anything that Colin Farrell does, or just like Idris Elba when he's doing his native accent. Same thing with Colin Farrell. You know the movie's going to be that much better just because it's Colin Farrell being himself. The same with Idris Elba. Two fantastic actors, especially when they're themselves, when they're playing, or at least playing something from the old homestead. But yeah, just guys, when it comes to information, it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to be militant and wrong. Just please do any bit of research. I all the time, you'll see me on X, especially when it comes to the Krasensteins. The Krasensteins are some of the people who are blaming Trump for the plane exploding on takeoff last night. Because he did something about the whole DEI situation. And that's a whole other deal. I'm only going to say briefly here, look, the DEI situation, doing it over the long term or putting forth efforts to get people from a certain community to go into a certain, or to make it more open for a certain community so that they naturally go over there because of curiosity or passion, is the way we should be going with these things. Not letting people with lower test scores or people who don't even pass. I do know, for one thing, the judge that let off the person that stabbed that Ukrainian girl in North Carolina, she didn't even pass the bar. And she had a conflict of interest because she was invested in the mental health facility that she recommended that the person go to. That's a huge conflict of interest. And stuff like this is allowed because I know a guy who knows a guy, and I'm in. You know, it's one of us. It's like the Goodfellas. It's ridiculous. So just make sure, and don't be one of these assholes that you find a lot on the left. You find them on the right too, but especially on the left, who will hate you, berate you, go and fair weather protest all day and night. But if you ask them a question and you ask them why that they hate you, why they believe a certain thing, or you even ask them about trans, you ask them about the 1619 Project and all these other things. Critical race theory. They'll say stupid things like, "It's not my job to educate you." Well, it's not your job to berate me and ostracize me and make me feel uncomfortable at my job that we both work at just because HR agrees with you. People are allowed to believe what they believe. Don't talk about politics or religion in places that you need peace, like work or the dinner table. Thanksgiving's different because, I mean, fuck those people. You see them, once, twice a year? But no, just make sure that if you are going to ostracize, don't ostracize people because they believe differently than you. But if you are going to, make sure you at least have your facts straight. Not just, I watched a couple news clippings or I watched something clipped out of context. Make sure you find the whole thing, because there are a lot of hoaxes. I don't know about the Epstein one. We'll find out. I really, my theory is Trump's not on it. Otherwise he wouldn't have mentioned it. He wouldn't have let people who campaigned for this, who have been talking about it for years, do anything about this. My theory is they got in there. They realized a lot of people on both sides were involved. And then they decided to suppress it probably till the end of Trump's presidency at the least. I don't think that he's actively participating. I really don't. Just because of the series of events. It's not because I'm a huge Trump person. It's because I pay attention. and with no positive or negative feeling specifically towards Trump, I looked at the facts as they're presented to me, and that's what I came up with. And I think it's pretty accurate. It's probably going to be. I've been on the right side of most of these things for a long time, and I really wish I had been on here to actively talk about them. So there could be, official video clips and documentation of me saying these things. But please make sure you do your research. Don't rely on someone like me. Don't rely on someone like Tim Pool, Hassan Piker, the Young Turks, Joe Rogan especially. Joe Rogan will even tell you he's a chimp. He's just someone who smokes a lot of weed and wants to listen to people who he finds fascinating. That's it. And then, of course, I'm sure he does people who will get him clicks because he's still a businessman. And he still needs to hold the channel up. So he subsidizes the people who he wants to hear from, who people may not find interesting, with the people who he knows people will find interesting besides him. But don't listen to them. Certainly don't listen to politicians. It's like Foamy the Squirrel always said, and I've lived by this. Believe half of what you see and nothing that you hear. Do your research. Anyone who watches the news as much as I do clearly sees that Fox, CNN, Newsmax, MSNBC, all the news organizations owned by Disney and et cetera, some of them blatantly lie. MSNBC blatantly lies. The rest of them, well, maybe Newsmax does too. I don't know. I haven't watched them enough, so I can't really say, but I've been told that they're basically MSNBC for the right. But again, I haven't done any research, so take that with a grain of salt. But the rest of them, they don't lie necessarily, but they lie by omission. They will purposefully leave out details that makes the other side look good and their side look bad. So pay attention. Watch CNN's coverage and watch Fox News' coverage. Watch the Young Turks and watch Tim Pool, even though he's not really left or right wing. Ben Shapiro, whoever the big guy on the right is these days. The truth is usually somewhere in between. These people will lie with the truth. They will clip out of context. They've done it for years. But now people have the time and the technology to go back and actually find it. Thanks to having so many YouTube editors, they see the little imperfections. Because as a t-shirt that I had growing up said, the world is run by C students, which is why you see so many things seeping through. That being said, guys, get on out there and be somebody. Don't let anyone tell you that what you like is stupid unless you're being supported by someone else and you're sitting at the house doing nothing with your life except for forgetting to bathe and living basically like Asmongold. I think the guy's got a good enough sense of humor about his situation to where I can say that without pissing him off. Not that I care anyway, but I'm saying he seems like he's all right with it. Basically living like him, but not having the income to be like, what do you care? I support myself. I pay my way. I can live how I want. Do whatever you want to do, as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're not leeching off anybody. That's your freedom. Be free. Be happy. And until next time, guys, take care of yourselves, and we will see you tomorrow.